Jania, have you ever heard of the term fast fashion?
Honestly, no. When you send us topics, I was like, okay, what is it? This is interesting.
Okay.
But then when I read about it, I was like, okay, that's actually true. And then
let me show here for people to see. Just a little here. So sustainable influencers take on fast fashion. Okay. So this is an article where this is apparently an influencer, Masego Morgan. I think she's African. She's from South Africa. Apparently, she's huge in South Africa. And so what happened is some brands came up to her to offer her, to show some, to talk about their brands, like their clothing brands. But she's actually a big supporter of fighting against brands that support fast fashion. Mm-hmm. So she was like, okay, no, I'm not going to do this for any kind of money. So fast fashion it's a kind of clothing business model where it's all about producing and selling, and they don't give a shit about sustainability and recycling stuff. Big names in fast fashion are companies like Shine. No, how do you pronounce this?
Shane.
Shane, H&M, Zara, Bershka, and all these cheap Stradivarius,
Mango, the biggest.
All the what do you call these? All the Inditex
Primark.
brands. Inditex
Primark.
brands and Primark. All these cheap brands where girls buy really cheap clothes. These are labeled as fast fashion brands. ¿Y por qué no hablas un poco de esas brands? Why? Because how did you get motivated to go deeper into this business?
Okay, so I will resume the story.
Yes.
I was working on cinema and television and in the business of clothing, like costume design and everything for series and so on. So I was buying an amount of clothing that you cannot imagine. And I felt really, really bad about it. So when I came here and I did my master, I had the opportunity to make my own business. And I was collaborating with a girl that is specialized in luxury fashion.
Okay.
So to find a common point between us, I suggest her that we should go into sustainability, because it is what the world is heading to. Because why? Because you said this fashion is cheap, there is anything wrong, you can dress with very modern designs for a amount of money that is not comparable to high couture. What happens is that the natural resources are going to finish, cotton,
they're
water,
limited, they're limited,
exactly, and they will end in 50 years, so they are selling us the fantasy that we are living in an abundance that we are not. And that's the first point. Human natural resources, raw materials are limited, and the other point is that the amount of garbage that we are producing, because all the clothing is made of polyester, and polyester is a highly contaminating chemical. So when we don't want those clothings, we don't recycle them, we throw it to the garbage, and that garbage is countries like mine, countries like Atacama Desert or Africa also. In several countries, what happened there is that they usually don't throw it to the garbage directly.
Yeah.
They sell it for a very high prices. The people here in Europe throw the clothing as a garbage, but then they sell it in a high price. And the clothing that they cannot sell, they throw it to the sea, they throw it to the field and everything, and they just chip the garbage and they just get rid of it.